thank you so much. Well, an exciting one. Jenny Taft, Landon Donovan, Lexi Lawless with you. Martinique eliminated in the group stage in their last 5 Gold Cup appearances, but they are off to a strong start this summer. Let's take a look at the highlights from what we saw today, guys.
Well, first
Werner gets by, and all right, he doesn't get all of it ultimately, and he scuffs it. And like you were saying, Landon, in this moment, all right, it gets a little lucky, but it bounces up. And all right, Archer, there we go, 1-0 for Martinique.
Absolutely punish El Salvador. This time, Efestian through to Kevin Fortuné, and he buries it. Really good finish here with the outside of the right foot. Could have let it roll across, but said, no, just stab it into the corner. Really good finish.
And we like that celebration. 30 seconds.
All right, look, down the other end, El Salvador, again, getting opportunities, but that man in goal, we could talk about him all day. He was wonderful for Martinique. Clementia, and there's a save, and he had plenty of them through the game.
Yeah, and that was the story of the game. Early on, second half, El Salvador, you thought, had some life. Maybe a yellow, maybe a red. The ref decides to give a red card, so red card, and that changed the scope of the game.
56.
Yep. Again, did I mention this guy in goal? Yanis Clementia.
Look at that.
I mean, what a day for him.
Look at that. Over perfect form, and all he needs is a fingernail.
So finally, this is definitely going to be the breakthrough, right, Lex? Penalty. Of course they're going to score here. Yairo Enriquez came on at halftime. Just put it away. It'll be... Oh, guess not. That man again keeps it 2-0 Martinique until...
We have to wait till the very end for this one.
All right, so consolation ultimately, but you never know. You could go through on goals and goal differential and that kind of stuff. And so, look, by the way, he almost saved this one too. But Tamakas finishes it up, so a little too late for El Salvador, and that's got to be disappointing to them. But well done, Martinique, leading the group.
Group C standings right now, guys. And like Lex just pointed out, Martinique on top with those 3 points. El Salvador now facing an uphill climb. The top 2 finishers will punch their ticket to the knockout stage. So in many ways, this was a big performance for Martinique. And Landon, you discussed how these are big moments. This Gold Cup for them, they are not able to play at a World Cup. And they came to show that they belong to be a part of this mix. How impressed were you today?
Very. I thought the way they approached the game was great. They said, we know we're not going to have the ball as much. Even early on, they got a goal kick. Everybody up the field, just smash the ball up the field. Use our physicality. They had a physical advantage, no question. And then in the moments that mattered, they had a qualitative advantage. They just said, in the box, we get a chance, bang, we're going to bury it. And El Salvador was the opposite. They had all the ball, all the chances, but they didn't score. And you don't score, you're not going to win.
And look, while this is disappointing from an El Salvador perspective, and you can see Hugo Perez right there telling his team, hey, look, I don't know exactly what he's saying, but I got a feeling that he's saying, we're not out. This was not a good result. Make sure that we learn and go on from there, and they still have opportunities to score and win games going forward. But that's not a good look for a Hugo Perez that needs wins and needs to use this Gold Cup, because that's a team on paper, we don't play a game on paper, that they should beat.
I do wish we could hear what he was just saying there, but how much is at stake for Hugo Perez? I mean, he needs to have results in this, because we've said that they have the talent, but they have not had the results.
Yeah, we were talking downstairs. There's this perception in America that he's done a great job, and I think it's because they've played a few really good games against the U.S. in the past few years, and so you say, wow, he's done a great job. The reality is now they've gone 9 winless. The last one they won was the Panama game that got called off middle through the game. So they've gone a long time without having that winning feeling, and they got punished tonight.
And this was naive tonight, and that's not necessarily something that we associated with El Salvador. They were kind of brash and, playing at times above themselves, but I kind of liked it because, again, it was not quite ready for prime time, but you could see them moving in that position. If you hadn't watched that and you just watched this game, you would think, wow, this is not a team that is going to qualify for the World Cup, and not a team that is worthy of the praise that we've given them over the last couple of years. So, Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? Get it together.
Yeah, and Martinique, maybe they underestimated them a bit. I mean, they came out a bit flat at times. I mean, obviously those turnovers were very crucial and a big mistake for them as well.
At this level, you get punished for that stuff, right? You make a mistake in a club team game at a lower level, you don't get punished. But at this level, you give them the ball like that, and they're gonna punish you. By the way, was that a Janet Jackson reference?
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
We're talking music around here.
We're doing all this kind of
You're
stuff.
so weird, Max.
You don't know the half of it, my friend. All right, so when we think about the tactical part of letting a team have the ball, which is what happened here, and you recognized, if you're Martinique, that El Salvador, maybe from a technical perspective and a possession standpoint, it's something that they like to do, and so you're okay doing that. But then there has to be the collective understanding that when that moment comes, and they were, I say it's gifted, but transition happens, as you know, and in the game on a continual basis. But it's the ability to smell in that moment and to strike. And that's what I was really impressed with Martinique, where they knew this is it. This is our moment. We need to make it count because we're not going to get a lot of them. And they were ruthless.
Yeah, they saw in the first goal, the minute the ball turned over, it was like bang down the field, beat Tamakas to the spot and score, and that was ultimately the game.
Statement performance for them, and that just our first match of the day. So one match down, one left to go.